Liquid loans, the protocol that's going on Pulse Chain, which allows you to take your Pulse and borrow money against that with no interest and no payback period, meaning there's no term like on a house. You have 30 years to pay that back. You don't have to pay that back ever, right? Your Pulse could just sit there and appreciate, and you don't have to pay back your loan whatsoever. Well, there's three parts to that, right? You have your Pulse that you can borrow against. You have the money you borrow that could go into a stability pool that earns you a return. They estimate somewhere between 10 and 30%, probably some based on some Monte Carlo simulation or previous data, because the code they're using is code that's already on Ethereum, so we know the code is pretty good. And then there's the loan token that you get if you provide stability to the stability pool. So what if somebody was to go through that entire process? What would their return look like, right? They're like, I'm not going to use my Pulse. I want to sit on this Pulse. I believe in the protocol, and I think over the longer term, right? Longer term in crypto might be 12 to 36 months, right? So I believe over the longer term that Pulse will appreciate, and I want to sit on this. But I would also like to earn some on this or see what I could earn on this. Well, we put together an example to show you exactly that. When you factor in the price appreciation of Pulse, when you factor in the return from the stability pool, and when you factor in the return from loan staking and the price appreciation of the loan token, we've got a lot of things going on there. How does that affect the return? So we're going to get into this and show you exactly how and what happens. But first, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. I don't know why you aren't subscribed already. So let's get into this video. If you want to support the channel, there's some links down below. Appreciate anything that anybody wants to support. Your time here is the most important thing, so don't feel the need to do that. So we're going to run through kind of like top level what this is, and then we're going to get into the details. So we'll just assume somebody puts in $10,000 to buy Pulse. The price of Pulse is this is at time 0. So this is like when somebody's initiating this position. Pulse is 0.001 cent. That means they're going to get 10,000 tokens. They take those and they put them into LL, liquid loans, and they borrow 20%, which gives them $2,000 cash that they can utilize to sell shit or put into the stability pool. Let's touch on the safety stuff here and then go into the stability pool. If somebody does what we're talking about right here, then they have a safety ratio of 500%. So that means they're covered by 5x, right? They have 10 in there and they only borrowed 2, so the price could drop by 78%, or from 0.001 to 0.00022 before they would get liquidated, and that would give them a safety ratio of 110%. So in this protocol, if the price comes down to 110% of the amount borrowed, then the position gets liquidated. Right? That liquidated position goes to the stability pool. Well, as long as you're not one of those ones that's going to get liquidated 500%, maybe you're like okay with less than that. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm okay with a 300% collateralization rate, right? So that means the price would probably have to fall by 60%, 65%, right? So basically the price has to fall by 67%. In this case, we borrow 30%, right? But we can change some of these variables in a few minutes. So we're issued $2,000 of USDL. This USDL, if we put it into the stability pool, is going to earn us the liquidated pulse from people who are under collateralized. Remember this, when people hit this number, their position is liquidated. So they've borrowed, in say if this case right here, if I have 10,000 bucks and I borrow $2,000 against it, the price drops by 78%, right? My position is going to get liquidated. When that gets liquidated, what ends up happening is I've already got my $2,000, right? So the $2,000 gets burnt, right? And then the 10% that is left there, that 10% goes to these folks, right? So you can take your $2,000 that you borrowed, put it in here to earn pulse. This pulse comes from Now, in this pool, you're going to get a loan token. So I have no idea what the rate is. This is completely arbitrary, right? Because we don't know until they're actually going to release this information. We say, for example, you earn 1,000 loan tokens for every dollar contributed, right? Something like, instead of having with PulseX or Pulse Sacrifice, where you earn $1 earns you 10,000, but say it was just 1,000 here. So that means for $2,000 worth of USDL, you earn 2 million worth of the token. And so you're going to earn liquidated pulse on the 2,000 plus this, right? According to their estimates, if you watch one of their videos or something on here, I think it's this video here, they give an estimate of 10 to 30% return on this. So let's put this here as 10%, assuming it's the lower end. And that's 10% on this 2,000 bucks here, right? Now we take this, now the loan token. If that's the rate, right, if we're earning 1,000 loan token per dollar contributed, we're contributing $2,000, then that means the price of the loan token is 0.001 cent. In the loan staking here, because we got to understand all these pieces to put them together to see what the return is going to be. So in this pool, you're going to earn Pulse as well as earn USDL. Now, the Pulse comes from the fee charged to take out a loan. There's no interest and there's no payback period. But when you do take out a loan, there is a small fee, somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.5% up to 5% depending on market conditions. And that goes to the loan staking pool. You also earn USDL. I think it's from the redemption. So if you are, yes, it is from the redemption. If this is a stable coin, but USDL is a stable coin. So if the price fluctuates off of $1, kind of like how USDC fluctuates to like $1.03 or 97 cents or something, it fluctuates back and forth. Arbitrators utilize that to make free money. So when they do that, right, there's a small fee associated with that. So I do expect USDL to not be pegged to $1. I expect it to fluctuate, probably more than USDC does because of the fee, but we'll see. And when they do that, the arbitrators do this, there's a small fee. That fee also goes to this pool of loan staking coins. So we got to take a look at both of these pieces, right? And when you look at what they present here, they say that estimated returns are greater than 20%, right? But that does not include the price appreciation of the loan token itself, right? Let's put this at 20%. So this is just earning USDL. Now, this here, it's just arbitrary assumption, right? What I'm just assuming here is that whatever happens to Pulse, this is only appreciating by 50% of that. So if Pulse goes up by a 10x, this is only going to go up by 5. I don't think they're going to be 100% correlated. There's no way this is going to change by the same amount, although maybe it changes by more, right? But I don't think that is the case. So now if we come over here, so if we take what we were just describing, we're going to earn money from the stability pool and we're going to earn money from the loan pool. So this is just estimated stability pool ROI and estimated loan token staking ROI. And again, this is both pieces of this. So you have the first piece is the earning Pulse and USDL, and the second piece of this is the price appreciation is equal to 50% of whatever Pulse appreciates. Now, let's go back to the freaking beginning here. Okay. If the price goes up by 1,000%, let's just say it goes up by 100%. Let's be like, easily could go up by 1,000. I probably will over time, I would expect. But let's just say it goes up by 100%. Well, what happens here is the price of the initial amount goes from 10,000 right here to 20,000. So somebody's doubled their money, right? 100%, fucking makes sense, right? But when you factor in the additional return here, right? This is coming from the loan staking and from the stability pool. This person's earning another $1,600 or 16% by doing this. So by utilizing the full process through the staking pool, the loan token appreciation, and all that kind of stuff, they're earning another 16%. Now, remember, there's a couple things to consider here. These are just the estimates from these folks, right? We could change these up. There's the potential, right? If Pulse drops by 80%, right, 78%, then this could be liquidated, right? But I don't think this 80% drop would happen in one day, right? It's not going to change by 80% in one day with a high, probability. It's going to be a very low probability event. So one could always, hedge this risk, which we're going to do a separate video on like how one might actually be able to hedge this, so to speak. Or you could just change this, right? You'd be like, okay, well, I'd rather have, a 600%, right? So you could change this. I'm only going to borrow 16% of the amount that I put in, right? Then it's all calculated for you. So you're going to borrow $1,600. It's a 600% safety ratio. That means the price probably has to drop to like, what, 81%, 82, like 82.5 or something like that, basically 82.5% to get to that, right? And then it just changes the number that you're going to borrow over here and all this kind of stuff. Well, these rates are, I use the low end, so it's a 16% additional return on the low end. But if we actually left this the way that it was, right, and we said that they were on the high end of what they're saying, or just above, right? So 30% for the stability pool and 40% for the loan token, then it's an additional 24% or $2,400 at 100%. If this goes up by 1,000, then earning another 10 grand, 11 grand in this case, right? An additional 100+%. So this protocol is going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. I am very curious to see what other people's risk tolerance is, right? What are they assuming for this? Because this will give you an idea of the price. If you use like the average or what people think it is, or what the most common median number for a safety ratio is from the LL protocol, you can kind of like go backwards into getting like a probability estimate for the price of Pulse to drop by a certain amount. So that'll be interesting to take a look at. If you found this video interesting, take a second, share it with somebody else who's in Pulse or knows about liquid loans and is curious, I wonder how that would affect my return, and show them this video. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, if you want to support the channel, check out the shit down below. There's also links for my other YouTube channel, should be coming up here in a second, and Twitter and Instagram or TikTok. Talk to you soon. Peace.